romance book that I hated, and guess why I hated it? Pointless love triangle. Hey Booktube, so today I'm coming to you with another bookish tag video. So if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I don't really like romance books. Generally, if I'm reading a romance book, I won't like it, but that's not entirely true. I don't hate romance. I hate love triangles, and I hate bad love triangles. I hate love triangles that are pointless and arbitrary and aren't supposed to be there, which is 98% of romance books, which is why I hate all of them. I mean, if you look at all of the romance books I've actually enjoyed, you could see that all of them don't have love triangles. The Gravity of Us, it didn't have a love triangle. Get a Life, Chloe Brown, it didn't have a love triangle. I just hate love triangles because most of the times they don't need to be there. But that leads into what we're talking about today, which is tropes. These are nope tropes. These are tropes that we don't like, or at least Zoe doesn't like. This tag was created by Zoe's All Booked, and is called the Nope Trope Book Tag. Basically, there are 6 questions based off of popular tropes, and I have to recommend you guys good books based off of those bad tropes, so it should be a lot of fun. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the first question is one I love a lot, and that is Eavesdropping with Miscommunication. Basically, name a book you expected to love but didn't. And so I'm going to go with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Obviously, this book is so popular on Booktube. It's literally a clockwork reader's favorite book. Since she has over 300,000 subscribers, so many people have heard about this book from her, and there's over 60,000 reviews on Goodreads. So yeah, it's a pretty popular book. And reading the description, I just got so excited for it. And then it completely did not live up to it. The only saving grace of this book were these side characters. I think there was Peepa, and I forget their names, but I remember liking them a lot. But the main characters were so bland in what they did, and the entire plot was just weird to me. Like, these wizards were dueling, and instead of going at it like men, adults, they made their children grow up to become magicians and then battle it out, even though they didn't know they were battling each other. Like, I could see like the creativeness and the allure of that magical idea, but I couldn't get into it. I just didn't see the purpose of it, and then both characters were bland, so then we got that. And overall, I just didn't enjoy the story. There were pages of just description. While that did paint a bigger picture of this entire world, it was just very unnecessary, and I don't even remember anything that happened in this book. And overall, I just didn't enjoy this one. But I'm super excited to get into The Starless Sea, which is Erin Morgenstern's second book, because lots of people have said that they enjoyed it, and I really think that with the writing and the world building prowess that Erin Morgenstern has, if I could just get into the characters, if they just feel real to me, especially the main characters, and that I will just love it. It will become one of my all-time favorites. I just need to feel like those characters are real. I have to feel like I'm actually inside a story. I don't want to feel like I'm reading, which is stupid. Obviously I'm reading, but I don't want to feel like I'm reading. I want to feel like I'm actually in these worlds, that they're real. That all of these dramatic things happening to the characters are happening to me, and I feel bad for them. I didn't feel anything for these characters. Alright, so the next question is love triangles. Name a series where you can't pick your favorite book. This was actually way harder than I thought it was going to be, because with the Miss Peregrine series, I have a favorite book. With the Aragon series, I have my favorite book. With the Darker Shade of Magic series, I have my favorite book. With the Hunger Games series, I have my favorite book. I forget reading these books. So then we're left with the Land of Story series. And like, looking at them, I can't pick a favorite book. They were all just equally amazing. I feel like the Land of Stories series is highly underrated on Booktube. And that might be because it's a middle grade series, but it really doesn't come off that way. Both characters are dealing with these issues of like family and growing up, while also it just being like an epic adventure. I just had so much fun reading the stories and seeing how they progressed. Basically, it's like fairy tale retellings, but every single fairy tale is in the same world. So like Red Riding Hood is queen of this kingdom, where Goldilocks and Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk are star-crossed lovers, and they're on the run. Just stuff like that. It's a really fun series, and it just goes by so quickly. It is so much fun to read. It really just felt like this real world. Obviously it's fake, but there were politics, which I love in a book. It really just felt like Chris Colfer took our real world and just adapted it into a fantasy setting with fairy tales, and it was just so good. And the last book is just the perfect ending. Alright, so the next question is Now Like Other Girls Don't Know I'm Beautiful. Name a book that has a pretty cover but was pretty boring. And for this one, I'm going to go with one that I already filmed a rant review on, but that is Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know by Samira Ahmed. Just look at this cover. Like, I love artwork on a cover, but it has to be a specific kind of artwork. And this definitely does it. Like, this girl sitting in Paris and the letters just floating across the cover. It's just so beautiful. The Eiffel Tower in the distance. This stunning, like, portrait of the girl, the text. Just the way it's designed and the font used. It's just beautiful. But I did not like the book. This is a romance book that I hated, and guess why I hated it? Pointless love triangle. I thought it was going to be this wonderful book about art and art history. This girl striving for her dreams after it was taken away from her. It was going to be about culture. But it wasn't about any of those things. It was about this girl that met this guy and instantly fell in love with him. And then they didn't get into an argument for like 200 pages, then got into 2 arguments consecutively, got out of those 2 arguments consecutively, and that was the book. The art mystery that they were trying to solve, all the clues just went right into their laps. They didn't have to do anything to search for them at all. And basically it was just them talking in French to each other and falling in love. And then this awkward love triangle happening. And that was the plot of the book. And it just was so disappointing to me. I loved Love, Hate, and Other Filters, Samira Ahmed's other book, because it talked about culture and trying to find ourselves and strive for our dreams in such a sophisticated way. I felt so deeply and I related so much to our main character, and this book was just so shallow. It didn't feel like it was the author's 3rd book. I just hated it so much. But if you want to hear my full thoughts, video right here. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that I was tagged to do this tag by Troy from Troy Reads, so I'll leave his channel in the description. Thank you so much, Troy, for tagging me. Alright, so the next question is All-Consuming Love, a book that gave you a book hangover. And so I'm going to go with Frankly in Love by David Yoon. First of all, this book has some blurs from some high-name authors: Marie Lu, Deb Coletti, I don't know who that is, Adam Silvera, Jodi Picoult. And this book originally got popular because the author is the husband of Nicola Yoon, who's the very popular author of Everything, which I hated. It was a romance book that I didn't like. But at least it did have a love triangle. I hated it for other plot-related reasons. But this book was just so good. It's one of those introspective character books, and I'm seeming to get a thing for those books. Like, every single type of those books that I read, I end up loving, so I don't know what that says about me. But basically, this book was about this guy who has these racist parents, and so when he, a Korean boy, falls in love with this white girl, he creates this fake dating scheme with this other Korean girl so that he can marry the girl of his dreams. But when life throws him another curveball, he has to try to figure out what he knows about himself at all. And it was just such a powerful book. It talked about culture while also being such a fun story. Like, it didn't take itself too seriously. It wasn't too depressing at all. It did have those serious moments, but it also had those wonder scenes where you were just happy for these characters. Reading the book gave me literal joy. I cried from it at moments. I was laughing. It was just such a powerful book, and it gave me a book hangover. Alright, so the next question is Douchebag Boyfriend. Name a book that took you a while to get into, but you ended up loving. And so I'm going to go with The Patron Saints of Nothing by Randy Rebuy. This might be because I was trying to force myself out of a huge reading slump when I was reading this book, but I just couldn't get into it. The first 100 pages, I just couldn't get into it. But I really wanted to because I knew I would love it, and so I kept going. And I never really got out of like that miserable state of trying to force myself out of a reading slump, which is why I want to reread this book, because I really think I'm going to enjoy it. It's this really important book about culture and all of the bad things in the world you don't see, and drug use and why people use drugs, and all of this important like psychological and also cultural and historical things. And the main character's story was just so powerful. His family and how he talked to them and how his life is gone and who he wants to be in the future. And our main character just grows so much in this book, and I really enjoyed watching that happen. This book is about Jay, who just wants to spend his last year of high school playing video games, where he will then be going to the University of Michigan. But when his cousin in the Philippines is murdered as part of President Duterte's war on drugs, he has to go to the Philippines and figure out why, to figure out the real story of Jay and who he was. Because Jay knew his actual cousin and knew that he would not be this type of person. And so he goes there and tries to figure out what really happened while meeting these new friends, finding out things about his past and about his cousin that he never would have expected. It's just such a good, well-written book. There are just so many quotable lines in this book. I also got it signed by the author at the Brooklyn Book Festival. Come on, light. Ugh. I got it signed, I swear. It took me a while to get into, but it probably won't take you a while to get into. It might. Alright, so the next question is to name your favorite or least favorite trope. And why don't I just name both? Alright, so my favorite trope, one of my favorite tropes at least, is enemies to lovers. It's you either hate it or you love it. And I'm in that ship where I just love this trope. I love when we meet these characters who don't like each other, and we know they're going to eventually become lovers or at least like each other. But I still love it anyway. I still just love watching it happen and progress, and how they eventually, like, over time, just get into each other, and how they realize the good parts of each other and why they shouldn't have been mean in the first place. And I just love seeing it happen. It's just one of my favorite things. And then my least favorite trope is love triangles. Alright guys, so that was the Nope Trope Book Tag. I don't think this one is going to be as long as my other videos. I don't know. I never really know until I edit. But if you want more of me, definitely consider subscribing. That isn't my outro, but that just seems really cool. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you're notified when I post videos. Like this video, comment down below your answers to this tag, just anything you want to say, and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.